Oh boy. Hello. There we go. It is I. Rikuhen. The Lich. Okay. Yeah. Helps if your OBS says, oh, hey, you actually want to use this microphone, not that one. And it's like when the default isn't your actual microphone. So frustrating. Okay. So, as the title says, we're going to be doing some reaction stuff. So, mainly we're going to be doing reaction to, let me see here. Let me get out of this for a second. Alright, and we will do this. I'm recording this also for, upload to YouTube, so I can kind of split this up here. So hello Twitch, hello YouTube, hello everybody. Anybody who's watching now or in the future, we're going to be doing some, getting away from gaming a little bit today. There's quite a few things that have been going on lately that I want to do a reaction to. Stuff I'm very much behind on. And so we're going to do that. The first thing up on the list here is we are going to look at Megalag's Honey Scandal video, part 2. I've already seen one. I've seen all the reactions and stuff like that came out last year. About this time last year, he released his first one, talking about how Honey, which is that browser edition, that you put on there, and it's supposed to search for coupon codes for you and find the best ones and everything like that. And in reality, it wasn't finding the best ones and also taking away money from affiliate links. And the way he described it in his first video is he kind of alluded to the fact that there was all sorts of sponsors, there's all sorts of people that Honey was sponsoring, and they'd run ads for him. Hundreds of ads for him, for Honey, and they paid him millions of dollars. And the way he basically described it is Honey would then take the affiliate links. You click on an affiliate link down in the description. You're trying to buy merch from them, or they recommend a certain product, and they have a link to that product, and you go down there and you click on it and go through the whole process of trying to buy whatever it is, and then Honey pops up, and then in the process of doing the Honey coupon code thing, if there is any, then it would replace the affiliate code from the person that you watched the video of to Honey's, and therefore take all their money. The thing is that he basically said it was just the people that were doing the sponsorship that was being screwed by this. In reality, it's everybody, anybody that had an affiliate link at any time. If anybody that happens to have the Honey thing on there used that, then it'd be stealing money from those people that had affiliate links. It could be people who'd never sponsored Honey at all. Anybody. So, it's bigger than just, those people that ran ads for Honey. It's not just picking, it's like they're running ads and then Honey's picking from their pockets. No, it's bigger than that. It's picking everybody's pocket. Everybody. If somebody happened to be using Honey when purchasing their stuff, or what they sponsored, or whatever. So we're going to get into part 2 here, and because there's more to this. So for the recording, I'll see if I can maybe link to the part 1. Of course, a lot of people have already seen it, so if you've already seen part 1, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'll see if I can put a link down on the recording. So I'm going to break up the stream, so each one will have a recording. Each one will have the the various reactions there. So in this particular one, I'll put part 1 down in there, and I'll put part 2, so you can watch them on your own without my commentary. And just to kind of part 1 get you up to speed, part 2 so you can anyway. So let me see if I can transition here. And okay, I don't need to do this. Hold on just for a second here. Let me... Okay, here we go. Oh, fell down. Right in the middle of the thing here. And that's too high. Alright, let me make myself a little smaller here. And hopefully I'm out of, well, let me see. Let's get me down in the corner. How about that? Okay. Everybody see me? Here we go.
PayPal does not want you seeing this video. A few hours ago, PayPal's lawyer sent me a cease and desist letter and requested Patreon take down my video under a copyright infringement claim. I consider this a direct attack against my fundamental rights as an independent journalist. PayPal has specifically taken issue with the fact that an anonymous source discovered Honey had left their source code exposed within their iOS app, which, if you know where to look, is publicly accessible. This anonymous source found the code and sent it to me. I reviewed the code for security research purposes, which is a protected act, and I only published relevant sections of the code that provide important context to the story, which I consider within the realm of public interest.
Yep.
Nevertheless, I have removed sections of the video containing said code, not because I believe PayPal are correct, but because I know they will have YouTube take this video down. It was only a small segment of the video, therefore I have made this decision quickly, under duress, and to proceed with this publication as quickly as possible. If PayPal thought this would stop me, they were sorely mistaken. Enjoy the video.
I don't trust Honey. I don't know what it is. I don't trust it. They push so much advertising. They push so much advertising. And then people are getting money out of it.
Mark almost lamented about the fact that Megalag didn't put this part in the first video.
And then people are saving money out of it, and that makes sense, but the other part doesn't make sense, and then something's going on here. Where's all this money coming from? I have a feeling there's gonna, in like a couple years, there's gonna be the great Honey conspiracy.
It's hard to put into words.
Oh, geez, come on.
Every day
Well, I'll have to edit this out.
during our time here.
I hate
Entire
ads.
families coming.
PayPal's Honey Money saving browser extension is accused of scamming customers and YouTube creators.
The biggest YouTube scam has just been revealed.
The greatest scam in the history of the creator economy.
People have been getting influenced and scammed, and I've been a part of it.
It involves almost every high-profile creator that I can think of,
And
including myself.
and every
paid a lot of influencers up front
While taking money out
anybody
of
with the
their back
affiliate
pockets.
link. It's not.
Oh, that's a little shady, mind you.
Again, it's not just the high profile, people that were taking, money from Honey. It's everybody. Anybody that had an affiliate link got hit with this at some point, whether they know it or not. Everybody.
No way that signs you up for their affiliate link. No way.
What? Brother.
heilige Scheiße.
I'm the biggest Honey fan in the world.
I understood that.
Ludwig, no!
They've also been lying to consumers.
They are clearly not giving the best coupon codes and discounts to users.
If you have downloaded Honey, I do recommend removing it from your browser.
I do think that this investigation for Megalag will lead to a huge class action lawsuit against Honey.
So
It should. I wonder.
creators everywhere.
I wonder how that's going.
Filed a class action lawsuit.
We're suing PayPal and Honey. Gamers Nexus is the lead plaintiff in a class action complaint filed against PayPal and its property, Honey.
I wonder how well that went. Hopefully he'll update us on that.
Well, it's safe to say PayPal's lawyers love my last video. But don't worry, PayPal, you know what they say. All press is good press, right? Let's see. Since releasing part 1 of my investigation, Honey has lost over 6 million users, Google has changed their policies for browser extensions, blocking Honey from claiming undeserved commissions, and most significantly, PayPal has been slammed with over 20 class action lawsuits accusing them of wiretapping, computer hacking, unfair competition, consumer fraud, tortious interference, and unjust enrichment.
Yep.
Yikes. Maybe not them. And unfortunately for PayPal, I suspect more lawsuits will be filed following the release of this video. Why? Well, you see, besides lying to consumers and stealing from influencers, Honey was also causing serious harm to small businesses. So much so that I believe brands have likely suffered millions of dollars in damages. But that's not all. In this video, you're also going to learn how Honey was collecting and sharing your data, and how they, in my opinion, illegally targeted minors through influencers such as Mr. Beast.
Fun.
Strong accusations, I know, but I have the receipts. I've reviewed internal data, Honey's source code, their pitch deck to investors, disturbing emails between Honey and small businesses. I've reviewed interviews, and much, much more. You're about to get insights into one of the most scummy, predatory business models I have ever seen. You'll also find out why my investigation has triggered multiple class action lawsuits against other corporate giants such as Microsoft, Capital One, Klarna, Rakuten, and Retail Me Not. Per usual, the views, allegations, and conclusions expressed in this series are my opinions based on evidence I have gathered, which will be shared throughout. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 2 of the Honey Trap.
Ooh, a new list of people here. Hi, yeah. A lot of those I don't know, but...
There were many moments throughout this investigation where I thought I'd reached the end of the rabbit hole. I thought I understood everything there was to know about Honey's dirty business model.
Let's see how bad it gets.
Claiming the credit for sales
that's
they
bad.
had earned,
This is bad.
the affiliate commissions from content creators, and they were intentionally withholding discounts from users for their own financial gain, rendering the entire value behind their core product a lie. Kind of hard to believe it could get much worse than that, but unfortunately, it does. And I realized this after noticing a strange but reoccurring anomaly. You see, in most cases, when Honey popped up at checkout and I clicked Apply Coupons, a discrete tab would open in the top left corner of my browser. That's Honey injecting a simulated referral click, attempting to claim the credit for a sale. But here's where things got weird. Every once in a while, I'd come across a store where, after clicking Apply Coupons, Honey wouldn't load their affiliate link. So why not? At first, I thought it might be a bug, but quickly ruled that out after noticing the same anomaly on multiple websites. Even stranger, when this would happen, I was generally finding better deals. So what gives? Well, for the longest time, I was under the assumption that Honey would only pop up on websites that had agreed to partner with them, but I couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah, why would they?
After stumbling across
pop
a
up on
post
everything.
on Shopify's community forum, where a store owner complained that Honey was leaking their coupon codes without their permission. And as I read through the replies, I could see other stores had the same issue. Now, this was a pivotal moment in my investigation because it turned my entire understanding of Honey's business model upside down. Until now, I was so focused on the impact Honey had on consumers and influencers that I didn't even think to consider the potential impact to businesses. Though in my defense, Honey consistently referred to the 30,000 stores on its platform as participating stores. So one would assume that every store on Honey's platform joined willingly and with consent.
Now, again, this is a browser extension on your browser, whatever it is that you're using, Firefox, Google, Edge, whatever. Pick your favorite. You add that into the thing, and every time you go shopping with it, it pops up. Why would it discriminate based on the store that you're at? It should just basically pop up on any store anytime you're shopping. So why would it be limited? I mean, that's an assumption that and I'm guessing we're going to find out that no, it didn't. It didn't discriminate. It went after everybody, every store, regardless of whether they wanted Honey to do anything or not. Whether they partnered with their Honey or not. If they partnered with Honey, then basically, per part 1, if they partnered with Honey, then they can control what kind of coupons that was, available to consumers. Therefore, not giving the consumers the best one. You got a $20 coupon. You got a 20% coupon on your thing, for like employees or special occasions or stuff like that. You don't want Honey to go after that one. You'll give them a 10% or a 5% code for Honey to use for the general people. But you have to partner up in order to do that. If you don't partner up for that and Honey pops up, then it's going to go in and it's going to find the best stuff. I'm guessing that's kind of where this is going. And it's going to really screw over a lot of, particularly small business owners.
Clearly, that wasn't the case. So I reached out to several business owners to learn more.
Honey takes the codes that people use on our website, the discount codes, and makes them public to everybody who's using Honey.
Yep.
We started having problems where customers would get in touch via our support website.
This was in part 1, if you recall. This is at the very end of part 1 here. So let me run that back.
The discount codes and makes them public to everybody who's using Honey.
We started having problems where customers would get in touch via our support website saying, oh, hey, I just tried to use this discount, this 60% off coupon, and it doesn't work. I'd be like, we can look into it. Like, dude, that is not your discount. Like, how did you get that? And they'd be like, oh, it just showed up through the Honey extension.
Yeah, so, 60% discount. Who is that discount for? Probably employees or for some charity or something like that, right? That's not going to be open, and it's going to be limited amount, limited time, whatever, special occasion stuff. So, Honey's finding those because these guys probably don't have a deal with Honey to say, hey, don't look for those. And it's just snatching them up, and here's this code. This guy here probably got lucky in the sense that it didn't work. Imagine if it did work. 60% on everything. You go out of business real fast doing stuff like that.
How did you get that? And they'd be like, oh, it just showed up through the Honey extension.
I hadn't heard about Honey before, and I was just hanging out on the couch with my girlfriend, and she made some comment about, oh, this app, Honey, that basically gives you all these coupon codes, and I think she asked if we were on it. I said no, and then she checked it out our website and said, oh, you actually are on it, and it's giving this 15 or 20% discount code.
Yeah.
And so that's when I found out about it.
He's not partnered with them.
I was
It's just taking their codes
because I didn't know how long it had been going on for. It cost us thousands, and I haven't even looked into how far back it went, but I know we just ended the code right away.
Phishing teaches you patience,
all right,
discipline, and adaptability.
Another ad.
Now, if you think that sounds bad, well, trust me, it gets a whole lot worse. But first, it's important we understand the scale of this issue. As you just heard, these store owners clearly never consented to being on Honey. So they can't possibly be among the so-called 30,000 participating stores.
Yeah, they're not participating.
Right? So why was Honey lying to consumers about the true number of stores supported by its platform? And just...
Again, that's stores on its platform, yes, but the browser is, the browser doesn't care. You're shopping. It doesn't care whether the store that you're on is affiliated or is partnered up or anything like that. It's a store you're shopping. We're going to look for coupons for it. So it's completely indiscriminate. It is every business. Every business. If you have a business out there, you're online, you have shopping thing, you have a way for people to shop for your stuff online. Anybody who has a Honey browser is going to be looking for whatever coupons you have available online, whether those are, again, employee discount, special occasion, charity events, you name it. Any reason to give a discount, particularly a steep one, rather than just any coupons you just be willing to put out there in the first place. Honey's going to find them all. And if you're not affiliated with them, if you're not part of that 30,000, stores that the website is linking to, you have no way to control that. The people that have that kind of, affiliation can control that. They can say, So honey is actually doing its job. It's doing exactly what it's saying it's supposed to do, only on those stores that aren't affiliated with honey and can therefore control what coupon codes are available. These other random stores that have no idea what honey is, or had no idea, they probably do now, had no idea what honey was, had no idea that they're just giving away their best stuff. You are getting exactly the best deals that honey advertises on those stores because they have no way to stop it outside, without partnering with honey and paying a commission. You give 3 to 5% of whatever thing, I'll explain in the first video. You pay honey a certain amount as part of their, to be part of their thing, and then you can control. Don't give the 20% discount, give the 5%. Okay? But every other store out there, every other store in the entire world that is online, that sells online, honey is taking their best stuff, whether they want it or not. So yeah, and it's a 60% code. Can you imagine? Can you imagine everybody that shops at your store online gets your 60% off? You're losing money like crazy. And if you're a small store, you can't absorb that kind of stuff.
How many stores did honey add to its platform without consent? Was it hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands? Well, that's where things get interesting. You see, when I started combing through the business side of Honey's website, I noticed that Honey claims to only be partnered with 10,000 brands. That's 20,000 less than what they advertise to consumers.
It's probably even bigger than that.
Okay, I guess
30,000
stores intentionally partnered with Honey, and the remaining 20,000 never signed up. Now, that would already be incredibly concerning and deeply misleading. But as it turns out, the deception is far worse than that. You see, as I continued digging, I stumbled across this file from Honey's extension called Supported Domains, which gets loaded onto your computer when you install Honey. And this file contains a list of over 180,000 online stores. That's a massive discrepancy from what's advertised anywhere.
I'm surprised it's that low.
We could start making assumptions based on those numbers alone, but we don't have to, because it just so happens that Honey also keeps detailed information for each of the online stores in this list, and it's relatively easy to access that data. For example, on Chrome, if we click Manage Extensions, turn on Developer Mode, click on the Service Worker for Honey, and click on the Network tab, we can now monitor what Honey does behind the scenes a little closer. So if we say visit apple.com, we can see that Honey is now accessing information from their database related to Apple. Looking at this one in particular, we can see that 2.9 million Honey users visited Apple's website in the past 30 days. We can also see that none of those users saved any money from coupons because, well, Honey has no coupon codes for Apple's website. We can even see internal support and monetization notes that were left by Honey's employees. Interesting. Most importantly, however, we can also see that Honey has an affiliate link for Apple's website, confirming that Apple does have an affiliate partnership with Honey. But if we look at the same data for, say, Abercrombie & Fitch, we can see that Honey doesn't have an affiliate link, yet Honey is still offering coupon codes for that store. And sure enough, if we click Apply Coupons on Abercrombie & Fitch, Honey doesn't load an affiliate link through that infamous sneaky tab. Things are starting to make more sense. So all I had to do now was collect this data for every store in Honey's database. The only problem is, collecting this data for one store is easy, but doing it for 180,000, that would literally take years. Unless, of course, you created a little program that automated the entire process, crawling through that massive list, scraping Honey's data store by store, and neatly organizing the most relevant data points into a nice, easy to read spreadsheet. Well, that's exactly what we have here, but I can't take any credit for the spreadsheet because this was all the work of someone much better at this stuff than I am, and he goes by the name of Yelton. He's a developer from the Netherlands, awesome guy, and I cannot thank him enough because holy shit, there is a treasure trove of data in this spreadsheet.
Oh, I bet.
We now have all the details for every store, every coupon code,
Oh,
every
they're gonna love
developer
that.
node, all curated into one lovely spreadsheet. It's glorious. PayPal will not like me having this data, but too bad. And
Yeah,
Yelto
a lot of
will be
other
releasing
stores
this
probably
data
want that
publicly
too,
on
I
Twitter
bet.
shortly following the release of this video.
Wait a
Link
minute,
to
let
his
me go
Twitter is
back.
below,
I talked right
so
over it.
make sure you PayPal note, all curated into one lovely spreadsheet. It's glorious. PayPal will not like me having this data, but too bad. And Yelto will be releasing this data publicly on Twitter shortly following the release of this video. Link to his Twitter is below, so make sure you give him a follow if you want to catch that drop. Alright, so now that we have this spreadsheet, we can finally confirm that at the time this data was collected, Honey supported 35,000 stores with affiliate links and an additional 146,000 stores without affiliate links. So yes, there was some truth to the
And those without are probably the ones that are getting the most screwed.
claim of supporting 30,000 participating stores. They just conveniently left out the eeny-weeny fact that they dragged an additional 146,000 stores onto their platform, presumably without consent. Now, consider this. If you're Honey and your platform supports 180,000 stores, surely you'd be screaming that from the rooftops, right? 180,000 sounds a whole lot more impressive than 30,000.
Yep.
Honey knows that, so why hide the real number? Clearly, Honey decided that keeping this little secret to themselves outweighed the benefits of advertising it. Now, as a consumer, you might be thinking, so what if Honey leaks a few coupon codes? Even if a business never gave consent, surely that would just drive more sales for the business, right?
Nope.
Well, it's not
Yes and
that
no.
simple. Why? Well, you see, coupon codes are more than just discounts for consumers. They're also a vital marketing tool for businesses. Virtually all coupon codes have a strategic purpose behind them. For example, many online stores will offer a 10% discount as an incentive for signing up to their newsletter. The consumer gets a 10% discount, and the business gets your email address for marketing. It's a simple tit-for-tat exchange. But if Honey snatches up that coupon and makes it available to everyone, well, now the business is losing 10% while gaining nothing in return. The entire purpose behind that coupon code gets destroyed, stripping away any incentive for the business to continue offering it. But it's not just newsletter coupons. Stores will also offer discounts to reward and maintain loyalty, like offering exclusive VIP codes to repeat high-value customers.
Yep.
Many businesses will even offer specialty discounts to military veterans or first responders, just to show their appreciation. But also, some businesses have private discount codes like 50 or 80% off that are strictly intended for use by employees or friends and family. So when Honey comes along, finds all of these codes and hands them out like candy to its millions of users, not only does it cause a negative strategic impact, but it also causes significant financial harm. In fact, this has become such a significant problem for online stores that there are now multiple paid services to help e-commerce stores block extensions like Honey. Even well-known retailers are paying to prevent these issues. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth does Honey get access to private coupon codes like employee discounts if they're not available to the public? Well, I came across the...
Well, okay, he's going to explain it, but I mean, it's there. It's in the computer system. You know, if your employee, for example, or military or something like that, they'll ask, and you'll click a little thing and it says, oh, you know, oh, you're military? Okay, then you can get, you know, I'm sure it's a little deeper than that, but it's like, you know, you're an employee? Okay, you know, like put in your employee number, or, you know, put in your military thing, you know, something, you know, there's going to be some sort of proof. You can't just click a button and say, I'm military, because anybody could do that. There's probably going to be some layer of proof there, but the point is that, you know, once you bypass that proof, you know, the coupon is there. Honey's just bypassing all of those blocks, you know.
This marketing podcast where they discuss the issue.
What happens is if I have Honey, for example, and I'm one of your best customers at your e-commerce store, and you decide you're going to do a promotion for your VIP customers, maybe it's a flash sale, and you send me a special code. I go to your website, I legitimately have that code from you, I type it into the promo code field at checkout. Because I have Honey in my browser, it is able to scrape that code then and give it to everybody. who uses it.
Yep.
We've seen codes like Military Hero 30, clearly intended for a veteran. And then in another case,
wow,
even worse, in another case, my CEO found a men's apparel brand where they had a $75 off coupon code, but they didn't set a minimum order value. And so people were able to get unlimited merchandise for free as long as they kept their order value at $75 or under.
Okay, that's insane. But I have to admit, at first, I was a little skeptical of the claim that Honey was snatching codes from users without their consent, because whenever I entered in a coupon code Honey didn't recognize, the extension would always ask for my permission before taking it, or so I thought. But as it turns out, the moment you type in a coupon code, Honey immediately sends that code directly to their servers, and then they ask for your consent.
Right.
How do I know? Well, you see, a developer who would like to remain anonymous noticed that Honey leaked their source code inside of their iOS app. Whoops. So this developer extracted the code and sent it to me.
Inspire new holiday traditions by bringing the delicious taste of Artisano buns and rolls to your next holiday feast. Soft, fluffy, rich with flavor.
I hate ads.
Make every bite a memorable one with Artisano buns and rolls.
Observability is about real-world impact.
2, even better.
So we can innovate faster.
We can actually further verify this
Okay,
with
let me
a
go
live
back.
sent it to me. We can actually further verify this with a live example. Watch what Honey does in the background as I enter in this coupon. Honey realizes that it doesn't have this code yet and asks for my consent to share it. But look at this. Before I've clicked anything, Honey has already sent that coupon code to their server, including the details of how much money that coupon saved me, all without my consent. Now, Honey might argue that if you click don't share, they never actually use those coupons.
Now, here's the thing. So in the first video, he talked about how, right at the beginning here, he's talking about he would go on there, he'd find this coupon code. Honey would search for a coupon code. They offer him 10% or 5% or whatever, and then he would actually search into the website to see if there's anything better. He'd find a 20% coupon code that the store is offering. Okay, and he would put that in, get his discount, but also alert Honey to the fact that, hey, there's this 20% discount code. Are you guys aware of this? And Honey would say, thank you very much for doing that. Now, the thing is that if the person is partnered with them, you can say, hey, there's a 20% discount on here, but, Honey basically doesn't acknowledge it because they're partnered with that particular store that says, hey, only give the 10% or the 5%, whatever that kind of thing, They're setting a limit. You can find, if you search into that store's website, you could probably find a better code, for a greater percentage. But they're partnered with Honey, so Honey won't give that greater percentage. They're capped out at a certain amount. Okay, but the point, what he's making here is that, they're still kind of capturing that code, whether or not you're giving permission or not for them to capture that code. And if they don't have an affiliation with the store, then it's free game. Now they've got, they're not affiliated with the store telling them, hey, only cap it out at 5%. There's nothing stopping them from giving the 20%, 60%, 80%, that kind of thing. There's nothing. They're not partnered with that store, so there's nothing blocking them from giving out the best coupon there. So, and if they don't find one and you do, and you tell them, hey, I found this better code, they're not partnered, fair game. They'll use that better code.
And maybe they don't. Maybe those codes just sit in their database doing nothing. We can't say for certain. However, if you read Honey's privacy policy, it explicitly states that they collect data such as coupons, promo codes, and deals you found.
Yep.
So while they ask for a user's consent, their privacy policy clearly allows them to take that data without it. So why does this matter? Well, it matters because when private codes get leaked, businesses don't just lose money, they're often left in the dark, unable to trace how those codes were exposed in the first place. I've personally found several coupon codes through Honey that were clearly intended for private use. This one coupon I found worked like a $35 gift voucher, meaning I could make unlimited free orders provided my cart value was $35 or
less.
under. When I alerted the business, they appeared to have no idea how the code had been leaked. Now, believe it or not, this nightmare for online stores only gets worse.
Yeah.
So we usually use discount codes as a way to track when influencers or partners are sending traffic to us so that we can identify the sale was attributed to that influencer and pay them a commission.
Right.
So I think we saw one code started to get used like way more, and we were like, wow, we're paying this influencer so much, they're doing so well, and I was like a little bit suspicious.
A lot of times discount codes are the only way for you to understand if a YouTuber that you love and would love to partner with is actually driving incremental value to your business. Those codes would immediately get picked up by Honey, and then they'd be used hundreds of thousands of times, and you'd be like, all right, like not only does that.
Yeah, well, and there you go, and more often than not, whoever sent that traffic to them that Honey picked up, they're not getting any of that money there at all. Whether they're using the affiliate link in order to get to that store, or the store is using that coupon code for that affiliate. These guys are seeing that coupon code being picked up, but none of the commission money that should be going to the affiliate that they're partnered with is getting. Those YouTubers aren't getting the money. It's all going to Honey. So these guys are getting screwed just as much as the person who initially sent that link.
Negatively impact our business. It was for that audience, but we have no idea which podcaster we should continue to support.
Now, if you're someone who listens to podcasts, you probably know exactly what Chip is talking about here. When brands advertise on podcasts, affiliate links aren't always practical. Listeners could be running, driving, or doing the laundry without easy access to a computer. So, instead, brands will provide podcasters with a unique coupon code, and each time the listener uses that coupon code at checkout, the podcaster earns a commission, just like an affiliate link.
Right.
So these are not your typical coupon codes. Behind them, you have an influencer that's trying to earn a living, you have a business paying to promote their product, and there's usually a contract binding the two together. Regardless, Honey will step in, leak the codes to users, disrupting that business relationship. The result? Not only do brands end up losing money from the leaked discounts, on top of that, they're now forced to pay undeserved commissions to the influencers whose codes got leaked. It's easy to imagine how quickly something like this could spiral out of control. In fact, one business owner on Twitter reported losing $100,000 from this exact issue, and he only realized it happening several months later. It's no laughing matter. And if you think this is a huge win for influencers because they get paid a bunch of undeserved commissions, well, think again.
I mean, we basically pulled all out of the podcast realm because there was really no way to figure out how to attribute any successes or failures.
We basically can't do that anymore because as soon as a code becomes used by one person, it's suddenly
used by everybody. Yeah.
This is a nightmare situation for everyone involved.
So, those okay, so the people that are using links are getting their money stolen. The people that are saying, hey, use my code to, get this discount, well, those people are getting more money because Honey's picking up on it. But then it's like, above and beyond what their actual sphere of influence is. And so the company just shuts it down. Now they don't get any money that way either. It's like, okay, well, we paid you $50,000 this year, but because of the way this thing went, we're not going to do this so you get zero, the next year.
But not all businesses are affected equally. Honey's actions are especially devastating for small businesses that lack the resources of larger brands. The big retailers can push back. They have dedicated marketing teams, advanced analytic tools, and the legal muscle to respond. Smaller businesses, on the other hand, don't have that luxury. So when a multi-billion-dollar company like PayPal piles on more obstacles, it's not just frustrating, it's downright predatory. In fact, Made in Cookware CEO Chip perfectly summed up the devastating impact Honey's actions can have on a small business.
When you're in the early stages of building a business, you're in the stage of, will this company even work? Is there product market fit? How do I scale this thing? Can the economics work, right? And so all the things we talked about, these discount codes and the kind of removal of attribution and killing margin, like those really affect the early stages of a company, from everything from where do I put the next dollar in to make sure I can survive, down to you're taking 10, 15, 20% of my sales without me wanting it. And we have digital marketing costs, we have shipping costs, we have all these stacks of costs that not only are getting more inflated over time, like FedEx has been raising their rates over time, warehousing costs have gone up, COGS have gone up, as you know, through inflation for the last 4 or 5 years, right? Like all the cost structures have been going up, and to have someone just stealing and compressing the actual revenue you want, like puts small businesses in a real squeeze. It's just really disappointing, and like it doesn't even work, because at the end of the day, like you need to make the numbers work. And if Honey is going to steal 10% of your revenue all the time, you're gonna have to raise prices at the end of the day to make up for that, right? And so
yeah, that's okay. So there's that clip from the end of the first video. Remember at the end of the first video, he fuzzed out and then bass dropped all of these people's voices. So that was I think this is the last clip there. But yeah, I mean, you know, those small businesses that are getting squeezed like that, they're going to go out of business. You know, if you use Honey to shop at your favorite, small little business, you're basically killing their ability to stay in business. They're going to go away.
It's not only not effective, but it makes it worse for the consumer. It compresses for the small business owner and margin, and it's just like a really awful business model. Like, we've been so mad at them for so long.
Really sad. And Chip's point about the impact to consumers is especially important. If Honey's eroding profit margins from retailers and they're forced to increase prices, well, that ultimately affects consumers.
Right. So you're going to be paying more for that if the business doesn't go under altogether.
Now, as you'd expect, these businesses don't just let these issues slide. Naturally, they reach out to Honey to complain, asking to be removed from the platform. And that, unfortunately, is where the story takes a much darker turn. You see, Honey is well aware of the inconvenience it creates for these online stores. So when they inevitably reach out to Honey, asking to be removed, does Honey oblige?
Of course not.
Of course not. Instead, Honey goes, how about this? We'll give you full control over which coupons go live on our platform, but only if you partner with us.
Right, exactly. That's how they get you. That's the only way these companies keep from being run under by, there's, and again, he's talking about 180,000. I'm really shocked that number isn't higher. That number, I see no reason why that number, why there is no number, basically. That should basically, again, be every business, everywhere, all around the world that's doing business online, that you can shop through their platform. I don't, that seems to me like that number would be a lot higher than 180,000 if you're talking about a worldwide thing. So yeah, okay, so you're either, hey, stop taking our best coupons from our store. You're costing me money. You're gonna run me out of business. And it's like, okay, well, why don't you just, join with us, pay us a commission, and then you can say, and then you can tell us what, coupons to give. Yeah. Completely underhanded. Sheesh.
I kid you not. In fact, Chip was kind enough to share his email exchanges with Honey from 2020. And you need to see it because holy shit, it's bad. Now, it is a long email chain, so I'm not going to read the entire thing, but you're welcome to pause to read the bits I skim over. Hi, I am the CEO of Made in Cookware. Please remove us from your app. You've scraped a private friends and family code from our checkout and put it on the platform for others to use. We've lost a bunch of revenue. 4 days later, Honey responds with, Hi Chip, thanks for reaching out. Honey supports over 40,000 stores online, and we always prioritize protecting the Honey experience for users by supporting available stores and displaying available codes. We can absolutely remove the code in question. In order to protect the Honey experience for our users, we typically do not remove codes unless we have a working relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, right off the bat, they're basically saying, we won't compromise the experience for our users unless you pay us.
Yeah.
Classy.
Right.
We'd love to discuss.
We're not going
how
to do
we
a
can
damn
work
thing
more
unless you
closely
tell,
and
unless you,
partner with your brand.
partner us and
Chip
pay
replies
us
the
to
same
stop.
day. We don't offer affiliate deals to coupon sites. We'd like to be removed from your site and extension completely. With the sales pitch not going to plan, Honey brings in their global partnerships manager, Kelly Rodek, who explains to Chip that his leak code was added through Honey's user-generated coupon functionality. No surprises there. She completely ignores his request to be removed from the platform, only offering to remove the leaked employee discount. Chip replies the same day, our friends and family code was listed on your site. That was an internal code meant for a small group of people that was never published anywhere. Our whole site can't be removed from your app. Honey only responds a week later, confirming they removed the employee discount, but again, completely ignores Chip's request to be removed from Honey.
And okay, so and what happens when somebody uses that again? Honey's going to scrape it back up, and now it's back on the platform again, right?
Chip responds immediately, pushing for an answer, but they ignore his email completely. A month later, and Honey leaks another private discount code. Hi, please remove from your app. That is a private code behind a private employee perk login. This should never be public. I don't understand how you feel taking a private employee perk and making that public to the world is helping our business. Honey responds confirming they removed the code, but instead of taking responsibility, they try shifting the blame onto Chip, suggesting his employees might be responsible for sharing the code with Honey. But given what we know about their system, I'm willing to bet Honey were responsible for the leak, not Chip's employees. Honey then suggests that Chip creates single-use codes for each and every employee, essentially making it his responsibility to fix a problem they created in the first place. I would be fuming if this were my business. 2 months later, and another private code gets leaked, and once again, Chip asks to be completely removed from the platform, and this time, Honey finally addresses the question. We proudly host a consistent shopping experience for all Honey shoppers who rely on our shopping tools. Therefore, we cannot disable Honey for individual stores, and never have.
No.
Never
there's
have,
no way.
huh?
There's no
Well,
way
that's
that.
Because it just so happens that Andrew from TrueGrit Texture Supply also shared his email exchange with Honey.
Did they remove
and
him?
Would you believe it? He was dealing with the exact same Honey employee as Chip. And while Honey attempted the same sales pitch with Andrew, they did eventually remove his store from the platform. So yes, it is possible, and yes, they have done it before. Once again, we've caught Honey in yet another calculated and deliberate lie. And make no mistake, it was deliberate because this employee, Kelly, confirmed the removal of Andrew's store just 1 month before assuring Chip that Honey had never removed a store before.
Yeah.
Honey clearly has the capability to remove stores, they just choose to enforce that decision selectively. Keep in mind, Honey knows exactly how many of their users are visiting a given store and how much they are spending. So I'd speculate that this selective enforcement comes entirely down to which stores Honey believes will make them the most money. Now for the record, I didn't even get through that entire email chain between Chip and Honey. It goes on and on. And this behavior is not an isolated incident, it's a pattern.
When merchants discover their codes have leaked and then they want to clamp down on that, they go to these coupon extensions and plea and request to have their codes removed. And 9 times out of 10, the response is join our affiliate program and you'll have more granular control over that.
Yeah.
And so I think merchants tend to feel a little bit
video
as
one
though
there.
they're being blackmailed or extorted, because you join the affiliate program and then you have to pay that coupon extension company every time somebody uses a code. And you're doing that in order to have them not share your codes.
I mean, this has got to be one of the most f***ed up business models I have ever seen. And let's be real about what's going on here. In my opinion, it's economic extortion. Just think about it. Imagine one day deciding to start your own business. You've saved up all this money and invested it all into this one big idea. You're taking on a huge risk. And as you navigate the daily struggles of running a business, a bad actor sneaks into your store without you ever noticing. You quietly start collecting coupons from your customers and start handing them out at your checkout counter. Then, one day, you notice a customer with a voucher that was clearly never intended for them, and you have absolutely no idea how they got it. But when you...
I don't know who's doing the artwork for this guy, but he comes up, so they're coming up with some really interesting artwork here. Oh, that's wonderful.
eventually catch the culprit and demand that they leave your store, they refuse, and there's nothing you can do about it. Knowing this, the bad actor leverages the harm they manufactured by strong-arming you into signing a partnership deal, where the only way to stop the damage they created is by paying them. Honey's business model starts to make a lot more sense now, doesn't it? It makes sense why...
That is textbook extortion. I think that's you know, Webster's dictionary definition, extortion.
They dragged 146,000 stores onto their platform and kept quiet about it, because by doing so, they wedged themselves between those stores and their customers, disrupting, interfering, and ultimately taking control over their coupon strategies.
Maybe now, to my earlier thing, you know, okay, so they did remove that. Going back earlier, they did remove that one store. Maybe that's the reason why it's only 180. You know, enough people complain that, you know, but you know, again, I'm surprised that number isn't much higher. But at the same time, it's like, okay, if you can convince them to take, apparently, which is a hard convince, apparently, if you can convince them to take your, you know, and if you recall that list from way earlier in the video, let's see. Let me see if I can get a screenshot of it. You know, that massive list that he, you know, yeah. Way down there. This list, you know, again, you know, if you can, you know, that is, I'm surprised that number isn't higher. But if you can convince Sonny to take you off of this list, you know, then that explains why, you know, maybe the number is 180. A lot of people may have had a better luck earlier in the process catching this and convincing, you know, and somehow managing to get themselves off this list. But you have to know that this is even a thing. You know, you have to know that it's Honey that's creating this problem in order to get in contact with them and say, hey, take us off your list. And then apparently it's a hard sell to do so. But yeah. And it's either, you know, you somehow convince them to take you off this list, or they extort you into joining their partner program here.
The only way for those stores to regain some of that control is by paying Honey. I mean, why else would any of these stores partner with and pay Honey if they're already on the platform for free? The answer is simple. The stores don't pay for inclusion, they pay for exclusion. For damage control.
Yep.
It makes sense. Now, to be clear, I'm not suggesting that all of Honey's 35,000 partnered stores were coerced into joining their platform. I'm sure many signed up willingly. After all, Honey does offer a cashback program which some stores genuinely like to offer users. And just look at the glowing case studies on Honey's website. Some of the numbers they throw around make partnering with Honey look like an absolute no-brainer. Increased average order value, reduced cart abandonment, that's music to the ears of any e-commerce store owner. But of course, if the benefits were truly as good as they say, you'd expect that brands who partner with Honey never look back, right? Well, here's a little statistic Honey doesn't want brands to see, and it's from their own data. This right here is a list of stores that, at some point, tried a partnership with Honey, then decided, yeah, no thanks, and ended the partnership. There's 15,000 of them.
Yeah.
That's 15,000 brands that, at some point, were partnered with Honey, but no longer are. And this is based on the limited data I have access to. The actual number is potentially a lot higher.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot more about the value Honey can bring to businesses than any of their case studies.
You're whoops.
A toasty Thomas's brekkie.
Ah.
Oh. Thanks, Tom.
Huzzah!
What if automating your smart home is just that simple?
Oh, I'm going to be doing a lot of editing, goddammit.
Offers an infinite canvas for your creativity. Whether your flows are simple, a little more complex, or geeky as build it with advanced flow on Homey.
Given everything we've
Okay, so let me go back.
And this is based on the limited data I have access to. The actual number is potentially a lot higher.
Okay, so addressing that, okay, he's got a list of 180,000 people, right? Some of them are partnered, most of them aren't, and he's talking about 15,000 that at one time did partner and then came off of it. But he's saying it might be even higher, yeah. Because, once they realize it's not worth it, it's costing them more money. Even if they are partnered, it's still costing them more money than they can do. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to end this partnership, and I want you to take me off of this platform. So, yeah, I mean, the number of people that, and so therefore they're not in this list of 180 that he found, So, yeah, I mean, it's that's a potentially pretty big thing here. It's probably bigger than the numbers suggest.
I think that says a lot more about the value Honey can bring to businesses than any of their case studies. Given everything we've uncovered about Honey so far, it really makes you wonder, why on earth would a Fortune 500 company like PayPal sink $4 billion into buying this company? Sure, Honey was making some sweet affiliate revenue, but still, that's a lot of money. To put that price tag into perspective, the platform you're watching this on, YouTube, was acquired for just $1.6 billion. Combine that with the acquisitions of Instagram and Twitch, and it still equates to less than what PayPal paid for Honey.
Yep.
A coupon browser extension.
Yeah.
Well, Honey brought more
They
to
saw
the
the
table
business
for
model.
PayPal than its ability to churn out mountains of cash. They also had 17 million users worth of data, and as it turns out, lots of it. Remember in the last episode how I said, if a product's free, it's likely you're the product? Well, we're at that part of the story now. You see, while Honey was handing out bottom-of-the-barrel coupon codes, they were also tracking your shopping habits and collecting a ton of data along the way. In fact, Amazon of all companies began warning users that Honey was a security risk, stating, Honey tracks your private shopping behavior, collects data like your order history and items saved, and can read and change any of your data on any website you visit. They even recommended uninstalling the extension. That was somewhat surprising to me, given how much Honey played into the whole, you can trust us with your data narrative.
Actually free, not like selling all your personal data free.
Does Honey sell user data?
There's another lawsuit.
This prompted me to investigate Honey's data collection practices, and what I found was, unsurprisingly at this point...
Now, I remember watching all of the reaction videos to the first video, and nearly every single one of them talked about, though they're just stealing your data kind of stuff, right? And of course they were shocked to see, the affiliate links being poached, the coupon codes not being up to what they're, supposed to be. So, so for everybody, for all of those people that did reactions to the first video and said, oh, well, they're obviously, stealing our information, our data and stuff like that. You were right, but we had to wait for the second video for that to be confirmed, huh?
Point pretty darn concerning. Hilariously, the first thing I noticed when auditing Honey's website was that they explicitly assured users that, hey, what we don't do is sell or share your data.
Wrong.
The moment you click the link to their privacy policy, the first thing you see is how we share your data. Excuse me?
What?
Red flag number 1. Now, this privacy policy was packed with vague language when it came to what data they were collecting and how they were sharing it. So I dug deeper and came across this incredible investigation by a German non-profit called Data Request, who advocate for data privacy online. And they dug into Honey's data collection practices by submitting what's known as a GDPR right of access request. For those unfamiliar, under European law, anyone living in Europe can ask a company, no matter where it's located, for a copy of all the personal data that company has collected on them. So, two of their members, Benny and Malta, both Honey users, each submitted a GDPR request. Their data revealed that Honey was systematically tracking their browsing activity across every website it considered to be an online store. They also collected timestamps, unique user IDs, device IDs, operating system info, geolocation details, and the full URL of the page visited. Now, Data Request showed that from these logs alone, Honey could infer some incredibly personal insights about a user. Here are just a few examples from Benny's data that was collected in 2020. Honey could see that on February 13th at 2:57 p.m, Benny viewed an iFixit guide on how to swap the DVD lens on a Nintendo Wii. They could see that Benny checked an AliExpress order 13 times, his order ID fully visible, including the fact he opened a dispute for the order. They could see he had a Microsoft Family plan and that he added a new family member to his Office 365 account. Honey also knew that Benny looked for an Airbnb in Berlin for 2 adults from the 4th to the 5th of March. And apparently Benny had issues with his iPhone because he viewed an Apple support page on how to reset his passcode. On March 23rd at around 5 p.m, Benny watched a documentary called Scanning the Pyramids on CuriosityStream, a service he subscribed to just an hour earlier through YouTuber Tom Scott's affiliate link. And apparently Benny's a gamer
I wonder if Tom got paid for that.
because he redeemed a game on Steam with the serial code 5HGP6. You get the point. All that information could be inferred from just 27 page views, but in total, Honey collected over 2,500 pages of web activity between just February and May of 2020, meaning what I just read to you represents only 1% of the total data Honey collected within a 3-month window. That is insane. Now, while Benny willingly registered an account with Honey, Malta, on the other hand, didn't. Yet Honey collected the same data from him as well, suggesting whether you formally register an account with Honey or simply installed the extension, Honey was harvesting the same data regardless. Huge shout out to Data Request for their work. I'll link their full investigation below. They also have a great tool where eligible consumers can easily request a copy of their data from companies like Honey and also request to have that data deleted. Definitely check that out and consider supporting their nonprofit. So as you can see, it starts to make a lot more sense why a company like PayPal would fork out so much money for this platform.
Right.
Honey was sitting on a treasure trove of data that provided detailed insights into its users' shopping habits.
To say nothing about the money that they're already bringing in by that time.
Honey could see what users were buying, how they shopped, what they searched for, the decisions they made before checkout, and even the services they considered but didn't purchase. That information is invaluable to a payments platform like PayPal. But don't just take my word for it. Here's Honey's former senior manager of partnerships, Daniel Pilkington, discussing the benefits of Honey's data for their partnered merchants.
You know, one of the metrics that we assess very frequently for merchants that work with Honey is, cross-store shopping. So, how many other stores is a user visiting as well as the store in question? Are they going to 6 stores? Are they going to 7 stores? Are they going to 10 stores before they make a decision on where to purchase?
And here's another former senior partnerships manager.
So one of the things we have insight into at Honey, because we're a browser extension and we can see our shoppers and how they shop, is that shoppers love to cross-site comparison shop. We're really kind of following the shopper where they go, and we're with them every step of the way.
Keep that in mind, guys.
We have all sorts of tools to make those consumers stickier to those direct-to-consumer brands.
And here's a former PayPal executive discussing how beneficial the data is for their goals.
We've got a full suite of solutions across our consumer platforms that help drive new customers, that help drive loyalty, that help drive conversion, and ultimately sales lift. And we have a lot of analytics and a lot of data, a lot of shopper data, obviously, and that's something that we can unlock on behalf of our partners.
You've got to hand it to Honey. They've truly mastered the art of selling bullshit narratives. To users, they promise privacy, insisting, hey, we never sell or share your data. But to their merchants, they literally bragged about how much of your data they had and how it could be leveraged to provide them with valuable insights into your shopping habits. It's genuinely astounding. Now, for clarity, those interviews were all recorded after PayPal's acquisition of Honey. So, is this simply a case of a corporate giant turning a once well-intentioned startup into a data harvesting machine? Nope. In fact, data collection was part of Honey's game plan well before they were acquired by PayPal. This right here is Honey's pitch deck to investors from back in 2015. On the business model slide, Honey clearly labels personalized offers to consumers based on cross-site comparison shopping data as a core component of their business strategy.
Yep.
And on the very next slide, proudly entitled Our Unfair Advantage, it explicitly states Honey's unique data allows us to predict what each user is about to buy, when they intend to purchase, and how much they are willing to pay. They even itemized the data collected as user behavioral data, stores visited, products viewed, and of course, your purchase history. So not only was data collection top of mind from the very beginning,
Yep.
but they were already actively collecting it and pitching that data to investors as a valuable asset. For years, Honey framed data collection as minimal and purely in service of saving users money.
I can't wait to see the other reactions to this. Oh my goodness. You know, I again, so many of the reactors to the first video basically said, yeah, this, what we just watched, you know, that was the problem. You know, they kind of predicted that this is what Honey was doing, not knowing all the other stuff. You know, it's interesting that, you know, basically what Megalag has done so far is he's basically in two parts so far. He's addressed 4 different issues. You know, first, Honey taking the affiliate links, you know, from the YouTubers out there, and again, every YouTuber, anybody that has affiliate links, you know, if they link to a store, you use that link to go to the store, and then you use Honey to purchase whatever that's, you know, from that store. Honey's getting the commission from that affiliate link. It doesn't matter. Anybody, every YouTuber, you know, not just the people that they're partnering with, not just the people that are advertising, everybody. Okay. Number 1. Number 2, Honey is not giving the best coupon codes because they've partnered with people they've partnered with businesses to prevent the best coupon codes from getting out there. But number 3, the flip side of that is that those that they aren't partnering with, they're giving the best coupon codes out there and costing those businesses money and possibly and making it very difficult for those businesses to stay in business. So it's like, you know, you know, 2 and 3 are bad sides of the same coin. I mean, it's like, you know, think like Harvey Dent and Two-Face, right? You know, whichever side of the coin you're on, it's still a bad coin. And then this is that, yeah, they actually are selling. They're collecting a mountain of data on you. Probably way more than anybody who even predicted this probably, you know, thought was happening. But beyond that, you know, yeah, you know, and then they're selling it and stuff. So I mean, everybody who predicted that, you know, oh yeah, they're selling our data. Yeah, how much data? You know, did you guess it was going to be this much? Yeah, woo. And, you know, we're not done to the video, so I wonder if there's a third one, you know, or actually a fifth one in this thing here. And then we've got part 3, which you know, God knows when part 3 is going to be coming. He promised 3 parts. So this is part 2. You know, is there going to be a part 3? How much more, you know, how much more is there going to be here?
Well, it appears they were full of shit. And to be clear, I'm not suggesting that Honey was selling your data to third parties for cash. Well, at least I found no evidence of that. But were they quietly monetizing your data behind the scenes, sharing insights with partnered merchants while conveniently leaving that detail out of their privacy policy?
Could be.
Well, it sure looks that way to me. One thing is for certain, however, and that's that Honey sold your data to PayPal, one of the largest online payment platforms in the world. PayPal didn't spend billions of dollars for a simple coupon extension. They were buying a window into your life as a consumer. And here's why that should worry you.
PayPal.
The sad thing about PayPal, it's unfortunately one of, if not the best, if not the only. Now I'm sure there's other programs like it where, you know, you can, you know, was it Venmo and Cash App or things like that. There's other, you know, similar things out there. And maybe this should, you know, we should probably look into, you know, those other companies and see what they're doing. But I mean, I've got PayPal, and it's like, and I'm loath to get rid of it, but boy, oh boy, oh boy. You almost want to just on principle here. You know? Definitely get Honey off your platform if you got it. You know, if you're using PayPal, you know, this might be the incentive to drop that too for something else. But again, be careful of what that something else. You know, if you remember in the first video, he talked about how he went to what was it? Tech Tips. What was the name of that guy's thing? The Linus, right? He went to Linus's thing, right? And Linus discovered that Honey was taking money, from these affiliate links, and so he went to another browser. He then sponsored with another browser extension, which was doing the same thing. So it's like, why would you? You didn't do your research into either Honey or into the platform that you then traded them for. They're doing the same thing. Why didn't you research that? Why didn't you go deeper into that and realize that they were doing the same thing? So if you drop PayPal in favor of the other platforms similar, Venmo, Cash App, whatever, do your research. Maybe somebody should look into them, and see, make sure they're not pulling similar shit.
PayPal launches an ad network. PayPal has officially said it will be launching an ad network that will sell ads leveraging the data it collects on the purchase history and spending of its 400 million users. This change would also likely affect users of PayPal subsidiaries like Venmo and Honey, and I believe there's more as well, but I'm not surprised Honey's in there.
Nice. This is terrible.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, okay. So they mentioned Venmo, so maybe Venmo's got the same problem. Look into. It's like you either deal with the devil, or you go find another one, and see if see if they're any better. Sheesh.
Myself. Now, to make this whole data collection issue 100 times worse, something else caught my eye while reading through Honey's privacy policy. Right at the very bottom, Honey states that, quote, "We created Honey for the exclusive use of adults 18 and older, and we don't knowingly collect or solicit personal information from children." Yeah, you see, now there's just one.
How do you know?
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your brother's computer, and install Honey.
That's right. Not only did Honey and PayPal knowingly collect data from minors, but they intentionally targeted them in their advertising. That's not just unethical, it's potentially illegal in numerous jurisdictions.
I remember, there's a whole... If you've been paying attention to anything on YouTube for the past, I don't know, what, 5 or more years? I think it goes back even further than that. 10 years? There was a big push about, and it really changed. It changed everything with YouTube as far as content creators and stuff. Yeah, it had to have been because it happened right after. I've been a VTuber for about a year and a half or so now, but I did all sorts of flesh tube, quote unquote flesh tube. YouTube, and then eventually streaming. Started way back. I started way back in 2014. So it's been a good 11 years that I've been on either of these platforms. YouTube particularly. Off and on. I'd upload a bunch of videos, and then work would interfere or something like that, and then I'd come back to it and make a few more, and then things would come up. So there's big gaps between when I started to now. But right around the time that I started, around 2015, I think, there was a big push that changed the platform entirely about, the fact that there was content on the platform that kids could see, some of which was, aimed at children. Some of it wasn't appropriate, and and everybody's getting monetized over, and it was very, that was going on, and I think the oh god, what's the guy's Paul something, the guy who did the film the Suicide Forest or something like that out in Japan, between him and then the children's law that got changed. I can't. Maybe he'll bring it up here. YouTube changed its platform, made it very, very, very difficult for people to make money off the platform. You know, you have to have, you know, used to be, you know, you go in there, people view you X amount of minutes, and you get, you know, basically get like $1 per 1,000 views, but it was automatic, you know. Yeah, so, you know, I had a few, you know, I wasn't getting much traffic then. I'm still not, but I wasn't getting much traffic then. But, yeah, I managed to, you know, a penny here, a couple pennies there, that kind of thing. I had, you know, less than $1 over a year saved up, you know, in the account. And basically, once you hit 100, you know, it's like once you hit $100 within like a month or more, then PayPal would send you a check for the $100 kind of thing, right? I had less than $1 in the thing. You know, a year I wasn't getting much traffic, but they made that policy change, and you know what little money I had in the bank with them disappeared. And it, you know, for me and every other particularly small account, whatever money that we had been saving up. And some of them were getting the $100 or, you know, $200 checks or something like that, but they fell under the threshold that YouTube put in place, and suddenly they weren't making anything. You know, so yeah. You know, like I said, that was about 10 years ago that change got put into place, and you know, it screwed a lot of small channels that weren't making much, but you know, and then they had to, you know, then some of them just went away. Hey, I'm not even making the $100 or $200 I had been a month and I had been making. You know, now I got to reach for more. Now I got to somehow expand my audience so that I can, you know, start making money again and survive on that. You know, or you know, a little extra spending money, whatever. You know, whatever. You know. Whoops. So, yeah.
Many countries have very strict regulations when it comes to the collection of personal data from minors, and for good reason. Therefore, if you intend on having minors use your product, many jurisdictions require that you obtain parental consent first. But this adds all kinds of technical and legal complexities, which is why many platforms simply limit the use of their service to adults only in their privacy policy, which was Honey's approach.
Right.
But if Honey were genuinely trying to avoid having kids on their platform, they probably shouldn't have sponsored one of the most popular influencers in the world, whose key demographic of followers is, well, this.
Yeah.
But Honey did sponsor Mr. Beast, and those videos garnered a whopping 3 billion views, making him Honey's #1 sponsor. In fact, according to my data, Mr. Beast sponsorships represent over 1/3 of Honey's total sponsored views on YouTube. But it wasn't just Mr. Beast. Honey sponsored many channels whose content was, in my opinion, clearly targeted at minors. They sponsored Minecraft channels, Roblox channels, cartoon channels. I mean, just watch this video and tell me it's not targeted at children.
Gaza's population is on the brink of famine.
Let me read that back.
Video and tell me it's not targeted at children.
This video is sponsored by Honey.
If Honey wanted to target minors so badly, they should have just sponsored one. Oh, wait a minute, that's exactly what they did. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Desiree Machado, who at the time was just 14 years old.
Jesus.
Guys, I'm only 14.
Hilariously, one of her videos that Honey sponsored is appropriately titled Back to School. Honey even ran her sponsored segment as a paid advert on YouTube. Now, speaking of paid adverts, let's quickly circle back to that Mr. Beast ad because...
Now, yeah, I think YouTube, you know, limits everything to 13 and over. But it's like, okay, so from 13 to 18, you know, you've got this gap that, you know, that particular person can, you know, she's legal, you know, she's she's legally allowed to be on YouTube. But yeah, oh boy. But she's also under 18, so therefore, certain ads and things and stuff. Yeah. Yee!
Of all the evidence, this has got to be the single worst example of Honey intentionally targeting minors. Let me play it again.
Here's number
I have
5.
a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your brother's computer, and install Honey.
They are literally encouraging kids to install a browser extension that tracks and collects data onto every computer in their household.
Yeah, and you use Honey. It doesn't. It's not going to know that you're. It's not going to know if you're 13, 16, 26. 56, whatever. It doesn't care. It's on your computer now.
Including those belonging to their siblings. That is fucking insane. And the emojis? I mean, come on. And look, this is not a good look for Mr. Beast either. Influencers have a duty of care to ensure that any advertising they engage in is compliant with relevant advertising laws, especially when your audience skews young. Of course, I did reach out to Mr. Beast and his team for comment, but never heard back from them. Now, in case you're still not convinced that this was intentional, because, I don't know, perhaps Honey had a rogue marketing team that was poorly aligned with upper management, well, here's a few words from Honey's former president, Joanne Bradford, talking about the benefits of working with Mr. Beast.
We launched it with gamers playing YouTube on their desktop and a little gamer called Mr. Beast. So we were his first advertiser, and we did a deal with him. His collective ads, I think, have been seen, I'm going to say billions, 3 plus, close to 4 billion times.
Wow.
Every kid in America knows what Honey is.
Every kid in America.
Every kid in America was telling their moms and their dads they needed to download, Honey in order to save money.
Oh, they weren't just telling their mums and dads to install Honey. They were installing it themselves. My 5-year-old brother.
Probably, if they got their own little computer, like in their room or something, or, a tablet or something like that, deadly easy to download this browser extension onto your computer without anybody. I mean, you can just do it. You don't have to tell your entire. Despite what Mr. Beast says there, you don't have to tell everybody else in the household to download it. You can just put it on your own thing. My 5-year-old brother installed Honey on his computer. Right. Did he tell anybody, hey, to do, let's do this, or hey, can you put this on my? No. If if they're savvy enough. And some of these kids are. It's frightening. Yeah.
They installed Honey on his computer? Wow, kids start saving money earlier and earlier these days.
Jeez. That's not the appropriate response.
And here's Honey's co-founder, Ryan Hudson, discussing how Honey leveraged the credibility that influencers have with their audience.
We learned how to work with influencers, in particular on YouTube, to lean into the credibility that they have with their audiences, the ability to speak the language of their audience, and it's been incredible for us. And so we've done, if you watch YouTube or you have kids that watch YouTube, they have seen, if you watch Mr. Beast,
it's a lot of honey.
A lot of honey.
This was no accident.
Yeah, you're targeting
Honey's
kids.
leadership knew what they were doing,
And then you're scraping their
it
information.
worked well. That Mr. Beast ad alone has 118 million paid ad views, the highest of any Honey ad on YouTube, which strongly suggests it was also their best performer. Honey likely invested millions into this ad alone. Honestly, it's genuinely shocking they've gotten away with it for so long. Now, given everything we've
Honey dates back to, again, there was that big push on YouTube. They didn't catch their own advertisers. I mean, part of the whole push was because advertisers. They wanted to make sure that the ads weren't targeting children, and yet here they are in 2015, just cracking down on everybody on YouTube, canceling channels, and just blowing up a whole lot of channels and demonetizing a whole bunch more. and all sorts of stuff, and yet somehow this got through. This got through right as they're doing that.
Covered so far, you might be wondering how on earth there could be more to this investigation. Well, while Honey was the first extension of its kind, unfortunately, they certainly weren't the last.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be doing so much editing.
Zootopia 2 has everything.
Breathe it in.
Besties. Cute fuzzy bun.
Fortunately, they certainly weren't the last. There are now hundreds of coupon and cashback extensions. And while I haven't investigated all of them to the same extent that I have with Honey, many of them engage in similar behavior, especially when it comes to poaching affiliate commissions. And that's why there are now multiple class action lawsuits targeting these other companies. Influencers haven't just been losing money to one sleazy salesman at checkout, they've been losing money to an army of them. In my opinion, these extensions are nothing but leeches. They are parasites in the world of e-commerce. In fact, I've encountered so much shady behavior with these extensions that I felt it was necessary to create my own browser extension to alert me anytime an affiliate cookie is loaded.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
I would have had to edit anyways.
Okay, I'm going to pause for a second here. I'll be right back, and we're going to kind of recontinue that. Hold on.
We're not going outside.
Last time I saw
She's
her,
back.
she put her face out a long time ago. But
Yeah, she's back by the door. I just don't have this bonus torches and the cats are on outside. My room will show you right.
I didn't turn off my mic. Holy cow. Okay, let's start this over. Wrong thing. How much time we got left? 5 minutes. Jesus.
affiliate commissions. And that's why there are now multiple class action lawsuits targeting these other companies. Influencers haven't just been losing money, first extension of its kind. Unfortunately, they certainly weren't the last.
I'm gonna edit this all the way back to here.
There are now hundreds of coupon and cashback extensions. And while I haven't investigated all of them to the same extent that I have with Honey, many of them engage in similar behavior, especially when it comes to poaching affiliate commissions. And that's why there are now multiple class action lawsuits targeting these other companies. Influencers haven't just been losing money to one sleazy salesman at checkout, they've been losing money to an army of them. In my opinion, these extensions are nothing but leeches. They are parasites in the world of e-commerce. In fact, I've encountered so much shady behavior with these extensions that I felt it was necessary to create my own browser extension to alert me anytime an affiliate cookie is loaded onto my browser. It's called Cookie Guard, and is especially helpful because some of these extensions will load their affiliate link in ways that are completely invisible to the user. For example, if you click to copy a coupon on Honey, it looks like a harmless feature because you don't see that sneaky tab opening in the corner. But with Cookie Guard installed, you can see that behind the scenes, they are quietly stuffing their cookie through what's known as a hidden iframe. You can Google it. Even worse, I found that the extension Karma Now would stuff their cookie the moment you landed on a checkout page. Completely automated, no interaction with their extension required. They also had a system that could detect when you used a competitor's extension, like Honey, and they would wait for that extension's affiliate link to load, then immediately override it with their own. Again, no interaction with their app required. It's insane. And this sort of malicious behavior is not exclusive to browser extensions. Even Microsoft couldn't resist the temptation of easy affiliate money and decided to offer coupons directly from the Edge browser. Watch what happens when I visit my NordVPN affiliate link. Once I've clicked on one of their coupons, Microsoft immediately replaced my affiliate cookie with their own, poaching the sale. And when I tried to reload my affiliate link to reinstate my cookie, it comes back momentarily, but Microsoft quickly and automatically replaces it again with their own. I mean, damn Microsoft, people hate your browser enough as it is. And how about Opera's browser? They recently stopped this, but for some time, if you simply entered the URL of a store that they were partnered with and clicked their autocomplete suggestion, Opera considered that fair game to inject their affiliate link and claim the sale. Affiliate marketing has truly become a war of the cookies. I can go on and on with these examples.
How does anybody make money off this stuff?
Taxes was feeling unwelcome. Now Taxes is an open door to new TurboTax stores. Meet our experts. They do your taxes, so you can walk out with confidence. Now this is Taxes.
So much editing.
The Chevy Colorado.
So much editing.
30 pound-feet of standard torque. And no.
Now, this all begs the question, how the fuck is all of this being allowed? Are there no rules in place to prevent this behavior? Well, as it turns out, yes, there are in fact plenty of rules in place that should have prevented much of what I have uncovered in this investigation. So, why hasn't it? Well, that's where greed and incentives comes into the equation. You see, so far we have only discussed two key players in affiliate marketing, merchants and affiliates. Merchants want to sell their products and services, and affiliates want to promote those products and services for a commission. Pretty straightforward. But there's another crucial player that we haven't yet discussed, and that is the affiliate networks. Affiliate networks are like dating apps for the industry. They allow merchants and affiliates to easily discover one another, connect, and work together. These networks also take care of all the technical stuff like the affiliate tracking links, reporting, and commission payments. But most importantly, these networks also set the rules. They are the gatekeepers. Some of the largest networks in this industry are Awin, Commission Junction, Impact, and Rakuten Advertising. Now, not only do these networks have their own strict policies, at least on paper, but on top of that, over a decade ago, most of these networks collectively agreed to enforce two codes of conduct. One for downloadable softwares, like extensions, and the other for all affiliates that promote coupon codes. And the rules set out in these codes prohibit many of the behaviors uncovered in this video. So why aren't these networks enforcing their own bloody rules? Well, for every sale made in affiliate marketing, these networks also get a slice of the pie. They generally charge between 20 and 30% of each and every commission paid. There are some variations, of course. Not all networks have the same rates and pricing structures, but the core principle is almost always the same. The more money that flows through these extensions, the more the networks get paid. So when these networks enforce rules resulting in a loss of income for the extensions, they too take a hit. Enforcing their own rules basically means shooting themselves in the foot. That kind of incentive structure doesn't just fail to prevent fraud, it practically invites it. Part 3 is going to be huge, and that was supposed to be the next video in the series. But that's not the video you're going to see next. In the next video, I'm going to be exposing a secret system buried deep within Honey's code that was never meant to see the light of day. The system was engineered specifically to bypass one of the most important rules in affiliate marketing, a rule intended to protect influencers from the very commission theft demonstrated in my last video. And that rule is known in the industry as stand down. Stand down essentially means that extensions must detect if a user has already clicked on someone else's affiliate link, and if they have, the extension must deactivate itself and not interfere. Yet, during my testing, Honey virtually never stood down. Suddenly, however, Honey began complying much more frequently, and this change in compliance didn't smell right to me. So, I started digging. And that's one of the reasons why this video was delayed for so long. Because, as it turns out, Honey wasn't just ignoring stand-down rules, the system they created was designed explicitly to bypass it, while hiding that behavior from compliance testers. And I have all the evidence to prove it. In fact, what I found was so shocking that I consulted with a respected security researcher who was able to independently verify and validate my discovery. The behavior I'm describing, in my opinion, likely constitutes criminal behavior. And in a few days, everyone will learn about the greatest heist in affiliate history.
That should be interesting.
They're attempting to stand down as little as possible while avoiding getting caught. Those objectives are intention, of course. The more you don't stand down, the more you're likely to get caught for not standing down. So they're trying to figure out in what circumstances can they avoid standing down and not face a material risk of being caught.
Sheesh.
Hello, my name is Kauk.
I think that's the end of the video here. Alright. Wow. Oh, okay. Alright, so that was a nice long talk there. Well, hour and a half, but some of the edits I'll probably still be over an hour though. Woo! So, let me do something here. Let me run through this. Do. Okay, yep. So, why isn't this coming out? Why is this doing this? There we go. So, yeah, I probably added a good, I don't know, 20 or so minutes onto a nearly hour-long video. But, yeah. Whew. Okay, let me see. Okay, the problem with doing this. Let me turn that off for a sec. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else? Okay. So that'll be the end of this video here. if you if you like this, go ahead. Watching this on watching the recording on YouTube, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, and then come on over to Twitch and watch me do things live. I do a lot of gaming, mainly, but occasionally, and I'll probably do. I'm going to see if I can do more of these kind of things, but it's a lot of games and stuff that I play, and just to kind of have a bit of fun. So you can watch this live either on YouTube, or you can come over and follow me on Twitch. And watch me stream there, and again, like and subscribe for more, and come over and follow me. Also watch my Twitter account. It's all Riku Hen. Look up Riku Hen as you see it. If you're watching this, you found me. There it is. There's the name. And it's the same pretty much all across the platform, all across all the platforms, and hopefully I see you guys in the future. I regularly stream Tuesdays and Thursday nights, Pacific time, 7 to 9 Pacific time, PM Pacific time, and then occasionally weekends like today. This being Sunday when I'm recording this, but occasionally Saturdays, occasionally Sundays, sometimes both. Depends on how busy I am. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the next bit of reaction here. So for you watching, thank you for watching, and we're gonna pause for a bit and go on to the next thing. Okay. Let me come back. Here I am. All right. We got a couple of videos of Ironmouse that I want to do a reaction to real quick. At least 2 of them. Yes. Okay. So 2 of them. So the first one I'm going to do is collaboration. And this was a month ago. Oh, okay. So it's not as bad as what I thought. A month ago, Ironmouse and Mori Calliope collaborated. I think during one of the award ceremonies or something like that. There's more. There's I've got 2 that I could find. I saw 2 more that I'll have to put on the back burner and do a reaction to again later. But so this is Ironmouse and Mori Calliope, how it's done. So let's go over into that and see. There we are. Okay. Let me get out of the way here. Make myself a little smaller. Get out of the way. Okay. So here we go. Ironmouse and Mori. How it's done.
You came at a bad time, but you just crossed the line. You wanna get wild? Okay, I'll show you wild. Better come ride, better like try and get into a level. Cause you might die, never the time, trying to start a battle. Bleeding isn't in my blood, guess I booked a data cell. Beating you is what I do, yeah. Party, I'm naughty, not even sorry. And when you pull up, I pull up, a little late to the party. Nah, locked and loaded, I was born for this. There ain't no point in avoiding it. Annoyed, baby, bitch, I'm got kill me, I could back go. Knocking you out like a lullaby. Hear that sound ringing in your mind.
Nice.
Sit down for the show, cause I'm gonna show you how it's done. Hey! Home tricks don't miss how it's done. Hey! Home tricks don't quit how it's done. Run, we run the town. Whole world playing our sound. Turn it up, it's
Nice. That was definitely during the... Oh, and I forgot to record. Okay, I guess I get to pull this off of the... Somehow download this. Yay. Now, I've seen a lot of Ironmouse's stuff. I've not heard too much of Kelly, so Calliope, Maury Calliope, Callie. I've not seen too much of. I've actually not seen any of her stuff. So, hopefully, I get this. Excuse me, I swallowed a frog here. Hopefully, I'll be able to get this up to YouTube at some point, and. So if you got any recommendations on Callie songs, then yeah, put them in the comments there. Okay, let's finish this out, and then we'll go on to the other one, and hopefully I'll record this one, and hopefully I'll record the next one.
So happy that you got to come here and perform with me, and I'm so happy that we got to do this cover together. I love you so much.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me, Mouse. You're the best. I love everything that you do, and you're such a good friend to me. And
God, why does it sound scripted?
and inspiring. And, if I'd said everything that I like about you on stage, we would be here all night, and I'd be on the stage the whole time. So I should get out of here. But thank you so much for having me.
You can't leave without hugging me. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Let's do something fun again, okay? Bye, everybody.
Dash.
Okay. All right. That was that one. We'll go right into the next one here. I think this is also from the same... Oh, this is from the... yeah, so for the... What was it? TwitchCon? She did like a concert thing. Yeah, so these are both from the concert. So... Let me actually record this one here. Okay, so... Ironmouse. Abracadabra. So, a couple of covers here, right? So, so let's see Ironmouse and her Abracadabra. Just seeing visuals there already.
Choose the road on the west side as the dust flies. Watch it burn. Don't waste time on a feeling. Use your passion. No return. Hold me in your heart tonight in the magic of the dark moonlight. Save me from this empty fight. In the game of life, like a frozen by a lady in red, you hear the last few words of your life. With the heart to dance, now you're both in a trance. It's time to cast your spell on the night.
Oops. Ha, too quick. Yeah. And I love the fact that she's harmonizing with herself like she is. This is interesting. I think, am I correct in thinking that this is a Lady Gaga cover? And I'm not much of a fan of Lady Gaga, so, you know, all too often some of the, you know, the music from, say the past, I don't know, 25 years, maybe even longer, 30 years, yeah, you know, I like some of it, but on the whole, yeah, then I'm just an old fogey. Listening to music that, you know, I'm not quite the target audience for anymore. You know, the one thing, you know, the one thing that about Lady Gaga is like, you know, okay, she's super talented, but I don't really think that you know, nothing that I've heard has really suggested to me that she's really tapped into all of her, you know, all of her talents, you know, or at least, you know, she's supposed to be. Everybody says how talented she is and everything like that, and I just haven't really ever heard an example of that. You know, it just sounds like she's advertised to be better than what I've heard. This is just my opinion. People may just, you know, people like Lady Gaga. Yeah, obviously, people like Lady Gaga. They buy her records. They like her. They go to her concerts. She's been around for years. You know, whatever style of music she's doing, you know, has never really appealed to me. I just think there's like an untapped something that she's not tapping into. You know, for as much as she gets touted up, you know, as being this great, you know, it's like, I don't know. You know, you should be better. Even better, you know, if you think she's good, if you think she's the greatest thing ever, everything that I've heard suggests that she should be even better than that. You know, I mean, if you're a fan, everything I've heard suggests that she should be even better than what you think her best is. You know, so, and you know, it's all too often that I hear covers from somebody else, and they do a better job than the original. So I don't know. I mean, I'll have to listen to Gaga's. You know, I think this is Gaga. Well, I mean, I could be wrong. This could be somebody else, and I'm just completely blowing. You know, I should have confirmed that before I went on that little rant. But you know, I should look and listen to the original, whoever it is. I think it's Gaga. Ooh. You know, let's look. Does she? Yep, Lady Gaga. Okay, thank God. I got it right. I should listen to the original and see if it's as good as this, because this is very good. I like this. So, not quite my style at the same time, but it's like, you know, I'm appreciating this. So I mean, if Gaza is at least as good as this, and this is you know, but in my experience, I've seen way too many covers that are better than the original. Pentatonics, for example, is loaded with covers, and very often I find them much more interesting to listen to than the originals. You know, you strip it down. You a lot of them are just overproduced and overworked and over things like that. You strip them down to, you know, like Pentatonics would do. You know, just down to 5 voices. You know, and you know, you get down to the bare bones of it. It's like, oh, okay, that actually was a good song. Whoever recorded it just kind of ruined it by making it more than it needed to be. You know, so Again, I'll have to listen to Gaga's original and see if that might be the case here. But my Ironmouse is doing very good. Let's get into, we got about a little over a minute here. Let me wind it back. Here we go. I have a robotic bit at this. I love the background dancers. I love the set is pretty amazing. Good motion capture. There you go. Ah. Cool. Alrighty. Yeah, that was... Ah, no. Go away. Alright. So that was that. Ironmouse doing Abracadabra cover. Again, I think that was from her concert that she did at TwitchCon. So, yeah. Very interesting. And then she did a Mori Calliope one. Collaboration, duet. Also at that same concert. And there's a couple more that she did collaborations with. I've got to find them again. At least two more. I got to find them again, and we'll do a reaction to those, but later time. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please give me a like and subscribe. Head on over to my Twitch channel. Follow me there. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time, and the occasional weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, whenever my schedule fits. And the best way to find out, besides following along and subscribing and such, and get those notifications, also follow me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And I usually post a good hour or so before I start streaming. So there you go. I do a lot of games and stuff, but you know, I'll see if I can do a few more reactions. Like I said, I've got at least 2 more Ironmouse videos I want to stream, and then there's more Calliope stuff that I should probably get into and look at those, and then various other things. I've got a reaction to the honey thing that just came out again, so that's going to be interesting. But all right, and I think that's going to end the day. So I will see you guys on Tuesday or Thursday or whenever you see this video. Come on over and join me. We'll have a good chat. All right, I will see you guys later. Have a good night.